build it and they will come. No, that's not a good one. Oh, I got it. Rebuild it and the PlayStation 4 should run like new again. That's a good one. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. And in today's video, I want to go over in more detail what rebuilding the database actually means, as well as walking you through how to access that feature and how it can help your PlayStation 4 run like new again. As always, if you guys enjoy this video and you find something helpful, please be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so that you can always stay up to date on my latest videos just like these. Let's get right into it. So what exactly is rebuilding your database? Well, rebuilding your database is a feature that is found within your Safe Mode menu of the PlayStation 4. Now, before I go any further, if you don't know yet what Safe Mode exactly is for the PlayStation 4, I do recommend another video I published that specifically talks about the Safe Mode menu. And I do recommend that you watch that video just to get a good understanding of what the whole thing is about. And I will link to that down in the description below. But basically, in quick, Safe Mode is a proprietary menu within PlayStation 4 that shows a myriad of items that could help your PlayStation 4 in a bunch of different ways. And because of that, it could delete some data, all data, or no data at all. So then I'll show you how to go into Safe Mode and then how to access the rebuild database in this walkthrough. I want to first explain what rebuilding your database is. Rebuilding your database essentially means it'll find any data that the PlayStation 4 finds might be corrupt or is corrupt, and it'll actually try and delete that specific piece of data and reformat the drive so that it'll run as if that corrupt data never existed. So how do we access this feature in the PlayStation 4? First, what you want to do is you want to go into what's called Safe Mode. And in order to get into Safe Mode, what you want to do is you want to find the power button on your actual PlayStation 4 console. And what you want to do is you want to push and hold the button if your console's on. And you want to wait until it hits that second beep. And then it'll prompt you that the PlayStation 4 is turning off. Now, you want to be really patient here because you want to make sure that your PlayStation 4 shuts completely off. This means you have to visually look at the light bar that runs along the PlayStation 4 console and making sure that it's completely off, and that you also listen for the mechanicals inside of the PlayStation 4 console to make sure that everything is completely off. So here I can see that the mechanicals are off and there's no light running along the side of the PlayStation 4. Once all of that is off, what you want to do is you want to, once again, go to your power button and you want to push and hold that button, and you want to keep holding it, and you want to keep holding it until you hear that second beep. Once you hear that second beep, you want to let go and you want to wait a second. Instead of it going into the home menu screen like normal, now it boots up into what's called Safe Mode. In order to use any of the item menus in Safe Mode, unfortunately you can't use your controller in wireless mode. So what you'll have to do, and it prompts you on the screen right now, is to connect the DualShock 4 using a USB cable. And so you can simply use the USB cable that was provided with your PlayStation 4 to charge your controller with, or you can simply find a micro USB cable that's compatible with this controller that has a USB-A on the other side to plug into your console. So then what you want to do is you want to plug it into your controller, and then what you want to do is you want to hit the power button on the PlayStation 4 button so that it turns on. Once your controller is powered on, it'll now enter Safe Mode because it knows you can control it now. And what you want to do is you want to go down to menu number 5. Once you go down to menu item number 5, this is where you can push the X button and enter Rebuild Database. Once you go into Rebuild Database and you initiate that feature, it'll now go into a loading screen, because what it's going to do is it's going to find that corrupt data on the hard drive. It'll try and delete it, and it'll reformat that hard drive to merge all that data back together, which is actually a really cool feature, because instead of it just like wiping out all of the data on your PlayStation 4, like maybe options 6 and 7 do, where it just completely wipes out the data on your PlayStation 4, rebuilding your database keeps almost all of your data, except maybe a few things which I'll talk about further along in this video. But it'll still maintain most of it while deleting only the bad parts. When you're trying to troubleshoot your PlayStation 4, I highly recommend that you rebuild your database first before you go into a more severe fix for your PlayStation 4, such as initializing it, wiping out all the information, and trying to re-download it all back again, because that will seriously take all day, and rebuilding your database takes a fraction of that time. Once you go into rebuild database, you hit the enter button and you enter the mode. What will happen now is you'll see a loading screen. It may take up to an hour for it to happen, or less, depending on how long it takes to find the corrupt data and to reformat your drive again. Then it'll return you back to the home screen, such as if you would normally power up your PlayStation 4. Some things that may be dialed back in your settings that you'll have to reinitiate again is maybe your Wi-Fi connection, for your internet, or re-signing into PlayStation Network. You may need to do those things. For me personally, what it did for me when I rebuilt my database, because I noticed that the system was not running smooth, so I tried that as an option to try and fix it, and it did work for me. One thing that it did was it reset my audio settings for my headset, so I had to redo those. It signed me out of PlayStation Network, so I had to re-sign into it. The thing that I wanted to make this video about, and that was a big deal for me and it freaked me out, was that I actually went back to my library, because some games may not be downloaded back onto the hard drive yet. What I found out was that a lot of my games that I purchased were gone, and I didn't realize it at first, and it wasn't every single purchased game that was deleted from the network, but a lot of them were missing, and I didn't realize that until I went into the library and realized that I didn't download it, and I had no idea how to bring it back. But I found out that if you simply do what's called restore license, what that does is that prompts the PlayStation to like essentially talk to the cloud from PlayStation Network and reestablish all the games that you purchased from the PlayStation Store that you didn't necessarily install or download yet hard on your hard drive. If that happens to you, there is an easy way to restore your license so that you can re-access those games again. And that's simply to go over to your settings menu over here on the right. And then you need to go into what's called your account management, and you want to make sure that you're signed into PlayStation Network when you do this. So if you're signed into PlayStation Network, you go into your account management. All you have to do is simply go over down to where it says restore licenses, and then go into that, and then it'll say use the restore button to see, and it'll close your applications before it feeds all the game download purchase stuff from the cloud. So you simply want to hit restore, and it only takes a few minutes, but it's really fast, and thankfully all of my games did reestablish, the ones that I purchased from PlayStation Network, and it did recognize that I did purchase those games, and then I had the option once again to re-download them back onto the hard drive. So when are some times that you'll want to rebuild your database? And what are the best times that have shown successes that rebuilding the database has helped? The times that you'll want to rebuild your database is a few things. One is if you went through a system update for the PlayStation 4 and it all of a sudden froze, or something didn't work right on the PlayStation 4, and you have a feeling that is because as a direct result of that PlayStation 4 update, that is when you'll want to rebuild the database, because it will dial it back to before you made that update so that you can reestablish that update once again, and it should be a more clean install this time. Another time you want to do it is if you're simply in the system menu, like in here, and all of a sudden it just freezes. If it all of a sudden it freezes and something's not right, and you know it's not something to do with your controller itself, then you'll want to rebuild the database. Another thing too is if you see one of these blocks on here for your game says that it's a corrupt data, or simply that you downloaded a game add-on, which is like a separate part of the game that you might have bought afterwards, or was like an expansion pack for a game. If that becomes corrupt and you simply cannot access it, or it leads to your PlayStation 4 system crashing, then what you'll want to do is you'll want to rebuild your database to see if the PlayStation 4 can just find that snippet of data, delete it, remerge the data on your hard drive, and then reestablish that connection again so that you can run it like new. Finally, and this is the most scary scenario, is if you're running your PlayStation 4 and starting it up and you see a message on the screen that says that your hard drive is corrupt. That is like one of the most scariest things ever, and it hasn't happened to me yet, thank goodness. But if that happens to you, if you simply boot up safe mode using the way that I showed you earlier in the video, and you go into safe mode and you pull up rebuild database and go through it that way, that is a great way of eliminating that message and then reestablishing your hard drive so that you can start it up as if that hard drive was like new again. And that's it for this video. If you guys found something helpful in it and you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so you can always stay up to date on more of my latest videos just like these. I'll see you guys in the next one.